we've all heard this before. In life, you've got to have dreams, and for your dreams, you've got to have goals, and for your goals, you've got to have discipline to ensure that you reach your goals. Well, I was reading the book Atomic Habits, and here's what I've learned from it. So when you have goals, it's best to have a system that ensures that you're taking action and you're taking a series of steps consistently to make sure that you arrive at your goal. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So in other words, the better system that you have, the more likely you are to arrive at your goal. Clock it. What if I gave you a life-changing recipe for success in your personal growth and development? Clock it. What if I told you bad habits can in fact be changed? Clock it. Here's a life-changing quote from the book Atomic Habits. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Which means that the same systems that we would implement to achieve our goals are the same systems that we can implement to change our bad habits and bad behaviors, things that we find ourselves doing in our lives that we no longer want to do or take part in, but we seem to be stuck in this cycle of never-ending chaos. Well, change your systems. You simply have to change your systems. Change what you do on a daily basis. Change one thing. Change 1 to 2 small things that will affect everything. Change how you do your mornings. Change how you do your evenings. Change what you do after school. Change what you do after work. Whatever it is, change your systems. Look for small, tiny things that you do on a daily basis that you know you can change them. Change one thing at a time. These small changes will amount to monumental changes. What systems are you living your life by? Whether it's systems that you've unconsciously fallen into or systems that you set before that are no longer working for you, it's time for you to consciously change those systems. And voila, bad habits can fade away. Clock it. This is part 2. We're going to be talking about how to form healthy habits. Here's what you need to understand on how habits form to begin with. Understand that all behaviors are driven by a need to solve something, which means all your habits that you have right now have formed because you had a problem and your brain basically came up with a little solution. In order to form new, healthier habits and get rid of our bad ones, recognize the problems that we're having, and we're going to figure out a healthier way to basically solve the problem, the existing problem. In the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, he lists 4 things that cause habits to form. Listen them all fast, so try to keep up with me. Rewatch the video if you have to. The first thing that forms a habit is the cue. It's the trigger that initiates the brain to do a behavior. So it's a sound, it's an image, it's a click, it's something that triggers your brain. Second thing is cravings. It's the motivational force behind every habit. It's the expectation. It's the anticipation. The third thing is the response, which delivers or obtains the reward. So I guess it's the action steps that you do. Lastly, we have the reward, which satisfies the cravings. So that's how habits are formed. The reward, it needs to actually satisfy your cravings, because if you're not being satisfied, you're not going to want to repeat this habit over again. So you've got to have enough, the cue has to be on point, you've got to have enough craving, and you've got to have a response that actually does good. It obtains a reward that generally satisfies the cravings. And so if it's not satisfactory, if the cue isn't strong enough, if everything isn't done to the right amount, a new habit won't be formed. So clock it. Just a quick personal example I was thinking here is like candy. I love candy. I love sweets. I love sugar. And so I found a supplement, a substitute to candy. So I have my cue, which is like at nighttime, I don't know, I crave sweets. My cue would be the feeling that I get, which is like I need something sweet. You know, like when you eat dinner, then you're like, I want something sweet afterwards. It's like that would be my cue. And then cravings would be the expectation, the anticipation that I have that, ooh, I'm going to get something sweet. It's going to taste really good in my mouth, the feeling, the sensation. And then my response is to go eat a frozen block of fruit instead of a candy because, you know, it's healthier, it's a better alternative, and it tastes similar enough to me, like, which is the reward. I'm rewarded with something that feels like candy in my mouth. It's hard, it's sweet, it's juicy, it's tangy, it's sour, it's delicious, and so it satisfies my cravings. And then boom, I now have a new habit. After you've achieved your long lost dream, what's next? Most people stumble after this. They achieve their goals that they have strived and worked so hard for after years and years of dedication and hard work, and then they're like, what's next? I guess I'll just, I don't know, chill. I guess I'll just relax now. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I've done it. I guess this is it. There's nothing else. Well, this is why it's important to also have systems. When you have goals and you implement system behind these goals to ensure that you arrive at your goals, when you arrive at your goals, you still have systems in place. And these systems, you basically fall back on these systems when you've already achieved your goal. And falling back on these systems will basically allow you to keep growing, to keep leveling up, to keep doing great things instead of you falling back to a place where you were at way before you even ever achieved your goal. Basically, instead of you falling back to rock bottom, you still remain at a level where you're consistently growing. Never-ending cycle of self-improvement and growing and learning from your mistakes and improving what you do. Basically, after you achieve your goal, you could look at your systems and be like, okay, well, it's time to upgrade some things about my systems because some things might not apply anymore. You know, we're doing better now. That's why it's good to have systems with your goals, because after you achieve your goals, you have those systems still, and you'll continue to achieve even greater goals that you never even set to begin with. Here's a quote from Atomic Habit by James Clear. When you have goals, it's basically so that you can win the game, but when you have systems, they make sure that you keep playing the game for a longer period of time. Decide who you want to be right now. Sit down, look at me, listen to me. Decide who you want to be right now. It's been a long morning. Did you know that your behaviors are a direct reflection of who you are? So that means your habits embody your identity. So I've been reading this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and here's what I've learned from it. Change your habits and you change your identity. If you change what you do, you change who you are. So decide who you want to be and prove it to yourself with small wins. Because see, the more you repeat a behavior, the more you believe that this is who you are, that this behavior represents who you are, your personality, your identity. So if you want to reinforce a certain personality trait, or if there's something that you want to be, is something that you like to say, that you are, and you're going to prove it to yourself that you are this kind of person by your habits that you do. You're not only proving it to yourself, you're also proving it to other people. And likewise, if there are habits and things that you do that you don't like about yourself, well, if you do them less frequently, you're telling yourself that you're less like this thing. You're not like this at all. You become your habits. So be careful of the habits that you pick up and the things that you do consistently and repeatedly, because it's proven to yourself and to people around you who you are.